Those positions are purple because they go across both primary and secondary. Those are campus-wide positions. So although this is the primary school, those two positions, principals myself, head of campus is Mr. Bradley Phillips, go across both primary and secondary school. Then we have the two heads of school. Be careful not to click over here. There's joint leadership of our primary school. That's the head of primary school Jewish studies, head of primary school general studies. These four people comprise the senior management team of the primary school. They're also part of the school senior management team that I'll refer to as this morning later. The head of primary school Jewish studies is Rabbi Lowenthal. The head of primary school general studies is Gary Mullen. They're sitting over there. We've also created two new positions. They're new, but not necessarily new, because a lot of these roles were actually being filled in the past. And the key word in this role here is student coordinator. Student coordinator. I'm going to talk more about this role in detail. I'm going to show you another slide that goes into detail what this role is all about. And our student coordinator in primary school, the student well-being and development, is going to be Janet Feldman. Our teaching and learning coordinator, and the key word here is teaching and support for the teachers. All about teaching and learning, literacy and numeracy. That teaching coordinator in the primary school is going to be Rhonda Lewis. And she's not actually here at present, but she's actually our teaching and learning coordinator in the primary school. And obviously all of our teaching staff. I'm going to show you this model and come back to it, and then I'll open up if anyone wants some clarity or wants to seek clarity about anything in the primary school. I'm about to show you quite a detailed model, and I've tried to color code things to make it as simple as possible. So I'm going to show you the position is in yellow, the role is in blue, and when do I actually go to that person is in pink. And I've tried to sum up each person's role, each person's job, in one sentence, maybe two. So I've really condensed it. It's in no way comprehensive, but you'll understand quite a bit of the gist of where we're heading and what we're doing. Jump over to the model. I'm going to start from the bottom of the model again. It's exactly the same model as we saw before, but I'm going to start with the teachers. Actually, there are some more people in the model. So obviously the teachers, you can actually see up there, the blue is their job description in a sentence or two. They're obviously ultimately responsible in the primary school for all learning, teaching, the development, the well-being of their students, implementing the curriculum, assessment, and feedback. They are the first point of call for any parent in the primary school, for any parent, for any issue, any welfare or academic issue to do with your child. Talk to your classroom teacher, be it the Jewish studies teacher, general studies teacher, or perhaps even a specialist teacher in some of the subject areas, like art or sports, etc. Then we have the teaching and learning coordinator. Essentially, it's teaching support. The curriculum, we've got huge changes coming upon us with the national curriculum and a lot of the developments thereof. There have been developments in the last couple of weeks. We need to have 8 curricular areas of curriculum fully developed and implemented next year. This person will be in charge of, in general studies, establishing curriculum teams or in-house professional development, mentoring of new teachers or all the teachers. And a lot of the teacher support things that need to actually occur. This person is after the teachers, after the classroom teacher, they're the first point of call for any teaching and learning curricular issues, teaching and learning. And that is wrong. Then we have the Student Wellbeing and Development Coordinator, that's Jenna. Pastoral care. Discipline, but proactive. We've already implemented the Bounce Back program, which many of you may or may not be familiar with. It's worthwhile asking your children what are the rules of the school and looking with them at some of our proactive pastoral program. We've also enrolled in the Kids Matter, which is a huge well-being framework. There's going to be information evenings about the Kids Matter framework. Janet is passionate about it. We went to a Kids Matter seminar last week with numerous staff from the primary school. And Janet will be working very closely with our special ed coordinator, with our school counselors and school psychologists, and together with the teachers. And Janet is the point of call for all student-related well-being or discipline-related issues after the classroom teacher. And it's a very, very important position here. So this, by the way, will be disseminated in electronic and written format to all the parents so that you don't have to take notes or remember all this information. Then we have the two heads of the primary school. I've actually swapped sides here for a moment before. The head of general studies, obviously ultimately responsible for everything in the general studies, be it differentiation, the curriculum, obviously by the head of teaching, by the teaching and learning coordinator, by the student well-being and development coordinator. General studies issues, or welfare issues, after going to the class teacher and speaking to the student well-being and development coordinator or the teaching and learning coordinator, then you come to the head of general studies. Head of Jewish studies, the same thing there in Jewish studies. Working hand in hand with the head of general studies. And again, anything to do with Jewish studies issues or welfare issues, after speaking to the teacher, after speaking to the student well-being and development coordinator, or any general issues of hashkafa or anything to do with the Jewish life in the primary school, head of Jewish studies. And once again, head of Jewish studies, Rabbi Yeshivah. Head of general studies is Aaron. In a nutshell, I've tried to sum up the principal and head of campus roles. I'm going to start with the head of campus. Head of campus is exactly as it sounds. Campus-wide issues, administration of all aspects of the school, legalities, policy, documentation, compliance, timetable issues, specific support to the heads of the school. And here in pink, these are the times when we would go to the head of campus. When there are legal issues or school policy, campus-wide issues, or having gone eventually through the hierarchy to the heads of school, or if Hashem comes a time when there's a necessity for mandatory reporting. The principal's role is essentially to have the vision of the school and to know how to get there. We're at point A, to be able to see point B, where we need to be, and to know how to get us there. Accountability to the different constituencies within the school, be it the committee of management, the school committee, the parent body, or the other the curricular bodies that dictate policy and different things to schools. And the principal is the final port of call within the school. And this is the Yeshivah now. Alongside this model, and I have not incorporated it, I'm going to show you a little bit later today, a totally separate section, informal Jewish life, which is also completely new for our school. And alongside this model, which I'm not going to be showing you this evening, we're developing an entire framework for educational support. We have a lot of wonderful things going on in terms of the student services and providing educational support for our students, both in primary and in secondary. We're auditing all of our educational support needs, pulling it all together, and we're creating a completely new model specifically for educational support, special education, going straight through the primary and following through the high school. And we're going to let you know all about that model in a very short, very near future. That's our primary school leadership model. I'm going to just go back to the model in brief. And if anyone has a specific question about the primary school structure, and it's all up here once again, just succinctly without all those details so you can see the whole model. Once again, the campus-wide, 2 heads of school, student, teacher, and then classroom teachers. So it's actually quite a simple model. Functioning outside of the actual framework that's presented here, the educational support, and that's, again, educational support incorporates into the welfare side of this as well, the psychologists and the support that they lend, both the classroom teachers and student well-being. And on the other side, we're going to put informal Jewish education, and then we're going to talk about it later tonight. Are there any questions or things that you feel I should clarify about the model of primary school? We're happy, after the end of the evening as well, you'll have an opportunity to ask any questions once again involved with the senior management team. And at that point in time, I can try and clarify any individual queries as well. All right, moving on to the secondary school. Now again, these models are different. These models meet the needs of our school. So in primary school, we felt, after looking at our primary school, consulting with external educational consultants, analyzing the need, looking at our school context, our very specific school context, that was the best model for our primary school. And then secondary school is quite different. You'll actually see the same 2 campus-wide positions there. And then on the right-hand side, the head of Jewish studies, student well-being and development. I'm going to have to elaborate on that as I go into the more detailed document. So that's a dual role, and you'll actually see it split in the detailed document. Head of Jewish studies, and also head of student well-being and development. And that role is being filled by Rabbi. On the left-hand side, head of teaching and learning, anything to do with differentiation curriculum, also involved in obviously individualized student learning programs, etc., is the head of teaching and learning, and that is Juliet Rose. Back to the right-hand side, we have daily operations and discipline coordinator. And the reason why we try to make it as simple as possible, this person fulfills again a dual role in our school. He is the daily discipline coordinator, so I'm going to talk about that role in a minute. But as well, he ensures that our school runs, takes care of a lot of the facilities, the staff cover, etc., and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And that role is being filled by Mr. Colin Harris. Our VC coordinator, who's also our careers advisor, and that's on the other side. He also plays a welfare role because he takes care of the well-being of all of our VC students, and that's Kevin White. Coming down once again, our year conveners, and we've clarified the role and empowered our year conveners very significantly. And there'll be a year convener for each and every class, so if there are 2 classes on year level, they are the points of call, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about their role in a moment. And we have subject conveners, heads of each faculty, so heads of the business subjects, heads of maths, heads of the sciences, heads of English, and then again we have all teaching staff. I'm going to come back to this model for questions, but I just want to show it to you in detail. We're going to follow exactly the same format with position, role, and when do I actually go to that person. So starting again from the basic model, the most important part, the teaching staff. Every single teacher is a member of a curriculum team, Jewish or General Studies. Every single teacher is responsible for the welfare of their students, in fact all the students in the school. We're also involving all teachers, both primary and secondary, in numerous school projects, numerous co-curricular and extracurricular activities, be they debating, be they drama, be they music, be they chess that we actually had this past week at an inter-school chess day. We want to increase a lot of our extracurricular and co-curricular teacher involvement. Teachers will also be involved in reviewing the policies that exist in school, particularly those that relate to teachers. We want to make small committees of teachers, parents, students, and if we need expert advice and leadership of the school as well, the committees, there are more than 100 policies need to function and run within school, and each teacher will actually play a role in policy review. They're the first point of call. Anything that has to do with your son in their class. Moving on once again to the more academic side and the more well-being side. The year conveners in the secondary school. The year conveners, you don't know who to call. You don't even know who the right person to talk to is. Call the year convener. They're the first point of call for everything. Be it academic, well-being, social, emotional, absolutely everything. They will defer, or they will point you in the right direction, or they will take care of it themselves. Any issues whatsoever, go to that year convener. And those 25 students in their class, or if it's 2 classes in the year level, there'll be 2 year conveners, and you can actually talk to them and work with them. And we're targeting them to train them up in well-being, student development, discipline. Subject conveners, particularly with the new national curriculum coming in, we are looking to, and there's a lot of mandatory things that we have to accomplish and integrate into the curriculum. ICT has to be integrated into the curriculum. They are there to meet with their faculty, to develop cutting-edge pedagogy, to introduce everything that needs to be introduced in their subject area, and they will meet regularly with their faculty and with the head of teaching and learning to develop the best learning outcomes, teaching and learning outcomes for our children. The year conveners, by the way, work very, very, very closely with the head of student well-being and our school councils. They meet on a bi-weekly basis as a group and individually with the head of student well-being to really work and develop our students. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that shortly as well.